Alright, hold on. This is Jacob Cat 2024 playing Fortnite. Gonna do my live stream on my YouTube channel. We're gonna talk about WWE Monday Night Raw. We'll talk about AEW Forbidden Door. Then we'll talk about NXT Heatwave. Okay. Hold on. Just want to make sure that this is working. Okay, here we go. Just want to make sure this is live. Well, welcome back to my YouTube channel, my live stream. We're going to talk about Monday Night Raw, August 25th, 25. This is the go-home show for Class in Paris, which is this Sunday. Now we're going to talk about Monday Night Raw. We'll talk about the matches, the segments, and we'll talk about the news and rumors in the wrestling community, in the wrestling world. We'll talk about another big series tragedy that happened. Then we're going to talk about AEW Forbidden Door. The pay-per-view was last night. We will go through the show and talk about some of the matches. Then we'll talk about NXT Heatwave, the pay-per-view review. That was on Saturday, I think. So I will go through that. I'll show some of the highlights, so that way y'all can hear it. Now, hope you guys hit that like button. Leave a comment. Please subscribe to my channel. Let me know in the comment section below. You guys want to see more? My video is sponsored by PlayStation. It's sponsored by my favorite podcasters and YouTubers like Fightful Pro Wrestling, Salamonster Sound Off, Just Alex, Joe Cronin, JD from New York. Now I will let y'all hear some of my other podcasters. Have to wait until they get into the chat. As you guys know that Monday Night Raw came on pretty early today because they're in Birmingham. They're in London. Yeah. Alright, so here we go. Hold on. Alright. First I gotta find a hiding spot so I can talk about the show. Hold on. Alright, now let me talk about Monday Night Raw first so I can show y'all what happened on this show. Monday Night Raw was absolutely freaking boring. It was so boring. It's a boring show. A boring go-home show. Nothing happened on this show. Nothing happened that made you want to get excited. Nothing happened. So, now the show opened up with Roman Reigns and Bronson Reed. That was the only good thing, the only interesting thing on this show, was the interaction with Reigns and Bronson Reed, and that was it. Based on the back and forth between them and Paul Heyman, and then we got a very good brawl. The crowd was, they acknowledged Roman Reigns. Reigns would make it over. Paul Heyman got a lot of heat. The crowd chanted, "Shut the fuck up." They chanted, "Fuck you, Heyman." They also chanted, "Fuck Seth Rollins." Yeah, so, we had a very good brawl between those two. That was the opener. I think that took up 20 minutes of the show. Now, the show did go 2.5 hours. Here on the East Coast, it started at 3 o'clock and ended at 5:30. Okay. So, yeah, so that was the opener. That was the only thing good on the show. Now, what else happened on this show was we did get Dragon Lee defeated JD McDonough in a pretty good match. That was whatever, just filler. Kind of boring when you think about it. Okay. Um. Yeah. Yeah. Dragon Lee beat JD McDonough. Kofi Kingston beat Penta. Another boring match, though, kind of filler, whatever. Nobody cared. Um. I think the best. I think after that we got Nikki Bella and Becky Lynch in a face-to-face. They had a brief stare down. They said. They exchanged some word. They brawled for a bit. The match have been official for Clash in the Castle, so we will see Becky defend the Women's IC title against Nikki Bella. Yeah, that match is definitely happening. Yeah. Now we had a very good vignette with Sheamus and Rusev. They announced that for Clash in Paris, a Donnybrook match, so we got stipulation. Should be a good match. It was a very good segment. Hopefully they end the feud and move on. Cause we've seen enough matches between them, and they brawled so many times on Raw. We got Io Sky saving Rhea Ripley after being tapped by the Judgment Day. Her and I think that was the only good match was Roxanne Perez and Rhea Ripley. That was a very good match. I think Rhea got the victory. She beat her clean. And then she got jumped by Raquel and Roxanne until Io came out and helped her. Now clearly they're building up Wonder Woman to become the next world champion. They still haven't announced if they're gonna be who can be crowned. Adam Pearce said it's gonna be next week. You have to wait to decide on who's gonna be next in line for the champion. Yeah. Okay. Alright. Alright. Okay. Yeah, anyway, see if I can get back into this. So, now the other thing that happened on this show was, Braun Breaker versus LA Knight. That was the main event. I think it ended in a DQ, or the Braun Breaker win. I don't know, I forgot. I got my notes all mixed up. I think Braun Breaker had the win because he lost last week to Jey Uso, because Kareem got involved. But after the match was over, the end of the show ended with another brawl with the Vision, Rollins, and Braun Breaker. Rollins and Braun Breaker. Yeah, yeah, cause, hold on. I'm sorry, I got my notes on it. I'm trying to get to this show. So I can show you my other podcasters, my other YouTubers who are in the chat right now. Hold on. Yeah, so the main event ended with the same thing that we've been getting for weeks now. Rollins, Braun Breaker and then CM Punk came out, and then the ending was that Punk, LA Knight, and Jey Uso, they brawled, they went at it. Don't forget, it meant for themselves. It can be, that the main event is a fatal four-way to see who's gonna win the World Heavyweight title from Seth Rollins. I think we all know Seth is gonna retain, but at least there's heat and there's a little bit of tension. Knight doesn't like CM Punk. Jey Uso, it made sense for him to not trust anyone to help his opponent after what Roman Reigns said backstage. Yeah, so I think that was it, was it? It gotta be. It was a very, very, very boring show. Alright. Hold on. I want to get into the other news and rumors here. Rainfield alone. Yeah, another interference finish on WWE. So I get the match did end the DQ. Reigns as a babyface is working. Braun Breaker defeats LA Knight with help of Seth Rollins. AEW Forbidden Door. Adam Cole had a great entrance. Now we did get LA Knight and Reigns strike at the Vision. We saw Reigns and Bronson Reed. They brought backstage. We had AJ Styles versus Finn Balor. AJ Styles got the victory. They did announce that AJ Styles will face Dominic for the IC title next week on Raw, which is the Fallout show. Alright, hold on. We got Forbidden Door. Incredible Steel Cage match. Pay-per-view of the year. Now we know that Wrestle Plaza is in Indianapolis. AEW is gonna compete with All Out. All Out gets some competition in the ESPN era. That'll be the first pay-per-view on ESPN on September 20th. I think we will get John Cena and Brock Lesnar on that show. I think they're setting that up. Alright, hold on. As you guys know, the main event for Forbidden Door, it was a way to write off Will Ospreay because he had a neck injury. Now, as for NXT Heatwave 2025, the pay-per-view that was on Saturday, Dana Brooke came back. She made her return to WWE. She was on NXT. Okay. Hold on. Alright. Alright, hold on. Now we do got some other news and rumors here. We got Riyad Jackson from AEW. He tried to end a pro wrestler's life, put him in jail. It's actually very graphic and very serious. I got more info on that, but before I talk about that, now we know that Will Ospreay said goodbye. That was his last match for now. Okay, right now he can be a free agent. Alright. Major AEW injury, her sinker had real heat. Alright. Oh, what my bad. Damn it. Alright. Alright, you know what? Gonna show y'all JD from New York. Come on.
On Monday Night Raw, I was thoroughly bored with most of what WWE did tonight. I'm thoroughly bored of not only WWE, I'm thoroughly bored of mostly all of the major league professional wrestling companies. I'm bored with AEW, I'm bored with WWE. I just don't get a sense that anybody really genuinely cares anymore. It's a problem. It's a big time problem. WWE's had this problem for most of 2025. Tony Khan is just clueless. I don't think they really care. And they want to play everything off as if everything is great, but it's not. WWE, they have settled into this really, really, really content space. This sense of complacency on Monday night. This safeness on Monday night. And it's thoroughly frustrating to even watch, honestly. I don't understand how you could enjoy it. It's so minimal and lacks vision. And there's no excitement. You can just tell that there's no excitement coming from the people writing the show. And if there was, I think everything would be coming off a little bit different. But the fact that a lot of these people are just riding high right now because of the unbelievable prices that WWE is charging for these tickets, and people are scooping them up at record fucking pace. Record numbers. They feel that they don't have to do much of anything because the people will be there. Like, why wrap your head around, oh my god, I gotta write this compelling narrative and complete story for people to be totally engrossed in what's going on. The WWE is being written by simpletons for simpletons. And the more people buy these tickets, the less WWE is going to do as far as putting any effort into the show. It's basically what it boils down to. There's legitimately nothing on this show, or on Friday night. Friday's much worse. There's legitimately no major story on Friday night that would get anybody excited. Monday is just a smidgen better. Because they got the Vision and they got the Judgment Day. But outside that, they're not even doing anything with Rollins and the Vision. It's all the same shit. Interference after interference after interference. DQ after DQ after DQ. At least they got a fucking outcome tonight, and then they did the nonsense after the match. Rollins came out, interfered, but at least we got a fucking winner by pinfall. It's really frustrating to see, man. The vision of the WWE, of the company creatively, is in the dumps. And then they have the balls to promote a Clash in Paris show with which I know was not a cheap ticket, at a much larger venue than the last time they were here in Lyon, France. This is an arena, a big one. 25, 30,000 people. It's not going to be a sellout by any stretch on Sunday afternoon. WWE is giving us, as of right now, a total of 5 matches for this show. There is absolutely no excuse why they can't be doing 6 or even 7 matches for this show. And I want to say that this is what WWE has been doing, but I honestly think it's what they've been doing. Also added on top of that, it's the last show for Peacock, and they don't really give a fuck. Then they'll go to ESPN, they'll put their best foot forward, they'll do WrestlePalooza, and they will really step up their game because it's their first big PLE on ESPN, and it's the same night as All Out, and they got a reason to go above and beyond and actually put a little effort into it. They don't have to put any effort into this show because people will be there. They don't have to put any effort into Clash of Paris because people have already purchased their immensely expensive tickets. I think everybody enjoyed the WWE a lot more when they weren't really being run by fucking suits and ties. Genuinely. They were being run by suits and ties anyway, but this is a lot more evil suits and ties, a lot more greedy suits and ties. I fear it's going to get a lot worse. I genuinely feel like it's going to get a lot worse. You know, I could sit here and joke. I think 2 weeks ago we did a little skit on the show. 20 things that are more entertaining than watching Friday Night SmackDown. So, obviously with today, I had a little bit more free time, a little bit extra time to kind of think about my thoughts of tonight's show. We're going to go over 15 things that are more entertaining than Monday Night Raw. Number 1, waiting for a self-checkout machine to prove your age for alcohol. Number 2, reading the ingredients off of a bottle of shampoo. Number 3, watching YouTube ads you can't skip. Number 4, trying to update your iPhone without Wi-Fi. Number 5, a 3-hour Zoom meeting that could have been an email. Number 6, Braun Strowman's Tinder profile. Number 7, listening to Jade Cargill cut a promo with no crowd noise, which is basically every Friday when she's got a microphone in her hand. Number 8, a live feed of Brock Lesnar not showing up. Number 9, an 8th grader's school play about wrestling. At least there would be some effort. Number 10, waiting for WWE to finally reveal that Chad Gable is El Grande Americano. Number 11, watching a Nia Jax match with the commentary muted. Number 12, the Great Khali reading bedtime stories. Number 13, flipping a coin for 3 hours and calling it AEW Creative. Number 14, watching CM Punk blink slowly in a backstage segment. And number 15, being stuck in a revolving door with The Miz. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to yet another unbelievable edition of Things More Entertaining Than WWE. This show sucks. This show sucks. I don't even know where to begin on this show. I'm not even going to go through an opening monologue because I don't even really know what the fuck happened on this show that is noteworthy, newsworthy to even talk about and dissect, man. Nothing is even fun to talk about. Nothing. Roman Reigns was there. Normally, Roman Reigns is a big aspect of the show. He's just there to get his fucking shoes back. They took Stephanie Vicaire off of Trash in Paris. Becky Lynch is out there making fun of Ozzy's death. More interference in the main event. More tension between CM Punk and LA Knight and Jey Uso. Kenta loses to Kofi Kingston. Monday Night Raw in a nutshell, ladies and gentlemen. Monday Night Raw in a nutshell. We're going to go over it tonight. I appreciate you guys joining me here on the podcast. This is your Monday Night Raw post show for August 25th, 2025. I want to thank you guys for all the support this week, man. It's been a tough week. It's been a tough week, man. Grandma passed away last week. Today we said our final goodbyes. And it was a tough day, man. Tough day. I was surrounded by some of my family today. My uncle and my cousins, my brothers. We all went out to an early lunch to celebrate my grandma's passing. Just remember the good times, share some stories, think back on when times were good. So I appreciate everybody that's reached out to me. It's been kind of overwhelming, the amount of people that have reached out to me. So I greatly appreciate it. I read everybody and their messages. Thank you. Again, shout out to Jesse, as always. Solid Monster, as always. Sean Ross Sapp reached out to me personally. Ross. A few people in the community reached out, so thank you guys very much, man. Also, shout out to Joe from Patricia's today. Thank you for being a fan of the show, bro. I know it wasn't really the most ideal of circumstances to come up and say what's up to me, but I appreciate your support, brother. I appreciate that. And hopefully next time I'm there, it's a little bit more of a better situation, but nothing wrong with it, bro. Appreciate you. Thank you very much. And I appreciate everybody that's reached out to me, man. So we're going to try and make this one a good week, man. We're going to round out August the best that we can. Super chats are open. Get them on. It's the best way to support the show. Content up on the channel. We have some really good stuff coming out of last weekend. We did Forbidden Door on Sunday. Did not like the show. I hate Forbidden Door, especially what it's turned into. I just hate it. It reminds me of a WWE Saudi show. I just feel nothing towards the show. We did a great post show, Jesse and I. We went over everything that we needed to, man. I think we did a great job on what we covered on Sunday night. I also did a video on the Rampage Jackson situation with his son Raja Jackson. I uploaded that this morning. That went over pretty well, man. So go and check that out. And we got Tuesday Night Titans tomorrow, man. We're going to go over some Forbidden Door and talk some Forbidden Door with the Solid Monster on Tuesday Night Titans tomorrow night. So I appreciate you guys very much. Anything you missed on the channel, go and check it out. It's all there. Hit that thumbs up. Make sure you guys get those thumbs up, and it's a great way to support the show. As always, if you can't get in via the super chat, we love being in the algorithm, and every thumbs up, every comment pushes up further and further in the algorithm. So make sure you guys go and do that. We got a brand new sponsor for tonight's show. Tonight we are sponsored by Taylor. If you guys don't know what Taylor is, man, check the link in the description that I posted at the very top. You guys want to look good for the remainder of the summer, man. Taylor has got you guys covered. No commitments, no hassle. You guys can choose and get on board with one of their stylists. You take one of their styles quiz. You pick out what you like, what you don't like. Leave it in their hands. And you got some great summer outfits waiting for you right on your front door, man. So make sure you guys go check Taylor out. We'll talk about them a little bit later on in the show. Tonight we are sponsored by Taylor. Use the link in the description. Save 25% off your first month's subscription. Also hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all notifications. You guys know the deal with that. I appreciate you guys very, very much. Monday Night Raw. Let's get into it. We start things off with Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns is out there. Let me tell you something, man. The United Kingdom loved Roman Reigns. Crowds chanting OTC, OTC. Even before his music hit, they were chanting OTC. He comes on out, finally spoke after a very long-winded welcome from United Kingdom. Reigns had big plans for tonight and for the rest of the year and next year, but he said he had to be honest with himself. Fans acknowledged him, but there was something that he had to acknowledge. Reigns said in response, "Maybe I can be." Cody Rhodes predicted it a year and a half ago. He said that everything would be taken away from him. He did say that. On that football field in Atlanta, right before Bad Blood, before they teamed up together for the first time. Reigns said Seth Rollins and the Vision followed through on everything Cody Rhodes has said. It took everything from him. The crowd then chanted, "Fuck you, Rollins. Fuck you, Rollins." And Roman Reigns says he felt the same way. Reigns didn't have what he used to have. He didn't have a bloodline. Reigns says he was proud of Jey Uso. People complained about Jey being in the title match instead of him, but Jey was the one who scored the pinfall in their match. He deserved to be in the title match instead of him. The Vision took his bloodline. The Vision took his wise man and took his titles. They ran out of things to take, so they had to find something else. He was about to bring up Bronson Reed and the fact that he's now coined himself as the Shulafala, the tribal thief. Paul Heyman interrupted with Bronson Reed. Heyman says it's been 5 years since Brock Lesnar's wise man joined Roman Reigns. They changed an entire industry together. Reigns was all alone now, but Paul Heyman missed him. Heyman loved him 5 years ago and still loves Roman Reigns today. The fans then started really singing Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns! Gotta love those UK crowds, man. Heyman sang Bronson Reed's name instead in the same way. Bronson Reed! He tried to lead the fans in this chant, but they sang for Roman Reigns instead. Heyman said the fans disrespected him, but they weren't tough enough to live in Manchester or rich enough to live in London. Heyman did not want to disrespect Reigns, but what Reigns needed was tough love. Heyman wasn't a man enough, or wasn't the man enough, to beat the tough love into him, but Bronson Reed was. Reigns called Heyman a dumbass because Heyman would kiss his ass after he kicked Reed's ass. Reed then gave Roman Reigns a history lesson. He said Reigns' tribe from Samoa is civilized, but Reed's isn't. Reed's tribe was exiled to Australia. Reigns' tattoos were all paid for. Bronson Reed's tattoos were all earned. Reed was the Samoan that Reigns' dad and uncle warned him about, and he was about to find out why. Reigns then says, hold up. This guy's Samoan? That means your ass belongs to me, he said. Crowd popped. Reigns invited him to get into the ring, to return his shoes, apologize to the fans, and then finally acknowledge him. And then the fans started chanting, "Give his shoes back." Reed turned him down and obviously said no. So Roman Reigns left the ring. They met in the aisleway, they brawled. Security got in between them. Reed broke through everybody. Reed then went up for a tsunami as officials tried to stop him, but Reigns popped up and gave him a Superman punch as Reed was on the top rope. Reigns went after Reed again on the outside. They were held back by security, and they went into a commercial break. 30 minutes into the show. This took 30 minutes to get across. Like I said, WWE is settling into their comfort zone a little bit too much, a little bit too comfortable on Monday night, where we start Monday Night Raw off. It's the same way every fucking time. Somebody comes out to start the show with a microphone. We get a promo. In this case, it's Roman Reigns. Last week it was Seth Rollins. And we just get the rundown of who Bronson Reed is, who Braun Breaker is, who Seth Rollins is, what the Vision is. And before you know it, 30 minutes is up. We haven't even had the bell ring to ring for the first match yet. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but for me, it's getting a little fucking stale. It's getting boring. I don't know why anybody, or how anybody could enjoy this fucking format. Is it so difficult to start the fucking show off with, I don't know, we watch a pro wrestling show every Monday, don't we? Maybe we start the show off with a fucking pro wrestling match. How about that? Break up the monotonous feeling. Break up the sameness of this fucking format. They don't give a shit. Nobody wants to see this for 30 minutes. Nothing was said here. What was said here? Roman Reigns went over, Cody Rhodes is right. They took everything from me. Okay. He took your fucking shoes. He's fighting another man to get his Jordans back. That's what this storyline with the Vision has degenerated into. Now, I will say one thing positive here. Crowd was great. Bronson Reed's got a little bit more character than he did before he became the tribal thief. They gave him this, he ran with it. It's something that's different for him, and I like it. It works with him. He's making it work. He will lose on Sunday. Reigns will get his sneakers back, and then what happens then? He's no longer the tribal thief. He no longer owns the Shulafala. Or maybe they surprise us, and Bronson Reed wins, earns another pair of Jordans, and adds a third pair to his Shulafala. I don't really see that happening. Bronson Reed is definitely set up to lose here, because there's other men in this group that Roman Reigns certainly should not be beating. Braun Breaker. Someone's got to take a pinfall, not named Seth Rollins, and that's Bronson Reed. So yes, Roman Reigns, in my opinion, will defeat Bronson Reed, and this is a logical match for the show. I just can't get excited about how we got there. And WWE absolutely, desperately needs to change the format of the show. I don't know how many other people are complaining about it, but I'm telling you right now, the format of the show desperately needs a change. It is not exciting to start the show off with 30 minutes of dialogue. And it's not even 30 minutes of dialogue. It's fucking 10 minutes of entrances, crowd sing-alongs, and then before they get into anything that they need to say, the shit that they need to say is not even important. It leads nowhere. It doesn't add to the story. It doesn't add another layer to the story. It's just words. And that's it. That's all it really ends up being. I, for one, can't stand it. I, for one, cannot stand it. Last week, Finn Balor couldn't find Dominic Mysterio backstage. At that moment, he bumped into Dominic, and if you guys remember, he was speaking to El Grande Americano, Ludwig Kaiser version. Balor asked him what was up. Dom said not to worry about it, and he joined them a little bit later. Well, this leads into the first match of the night, which is Dragon Lee versus J.D. McDonough. Two very good professional wrestlers. Balor was tossed from ringside because he tried to interfere in this thing early on, and Jessica Carr immediately tossed him from the match. Fans didn't really react to this. When Balor usually does his deal here, you know, they react when someone gets kicked out of the ringside area. The United Kingdom did not react favorably to Finn Balor getting booted from ringside. It's almost as if they didn't react because they didn't want it to happen. So, very stereotypical WWE. Match starts within 90 seconds. We go into a commercial break. Dragon Lee makes his comeback after the commercial break. He hits a snap German suplex, followed by a poison rana. McDonough comes back with a Spanish fly. Did not land flush. It looked like it sucked a lot more than usual because he came down on one of Dragon Lee's shoulders. Lee followed later with a beautiful-looking Liger bomb. He goes for a cover. He gets a 2 count. So, Dominic tried to interfere here.
Alright, now let me show you the other podcasters. Let's go into Salamander.
To delay it and have it on another show anyway, that's also possible, but I don't know. I mean, the fact that they now need another week to come up with what it is that they are going to do does not give me a lot of hope. So, there goes one match I was looking forward to on that show. Speaking of Io Sky, the drama continues with her and the Kabuki Warriors. Really, her and Asuka on the show. As the days of our lives tick down. You know, the segments where Kairi Sane gets very overly emotional here. She's torn between two friends and doesn't know what to do. It's all very melodramatic. And it reached a peak tonight in terms of the over-dramatization of what they're trying to do here. This was your standard run-of-the-mill episode of Raw. You know, when they go overseas and you get these usually very lively, very energetic crowds, you know, they could help lift the show or they become part of the show. And I'm not saying that the people in Birmingham were not, you know, happy to be there and that they weren't loud for parts of the show. But even with that UK crowd, it felt like your standard run-of-the-mill episode of Raw, where the problem they've run into now, for me anyway, is that so many of these episodes, they just sort of blend together. There's just a sameness to it that seems to be getting worse. And you know, I mentioned like the first half of the show, it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon, it almost put me to sleep. It got a little bit better in the second half, but it was just your standard run-of-the-mill edition of Raw where there's just this repetition to it that is just maddening sometimes, where I feel like I'm watching the same exact show every single week. You know, I'm looking at this and I'm like, have an NXT showcase match on the show each week. You do it on SmackDown too if you want to, but like have an NXT showcase, like something different, something that could try to liven things up a little bit, get some new faces featured on the show, and who knows, you know, you don't just have to do matches for the sake of matches. Maybe it leads to something. I don't know, but like something, anything, please. Because these shows have run into this issue now for quite some time, and even when they go international, nothing really seems to change. SmackDown is bad enough on most weeks, and I feel like Raw's not that bad. I'm not going to say Raw's at the level of SmackDown, but sometimes it can be worse. You know, to have a show that just isn't very interesting or isn't very exciting, it's just sort of there. Especially when you're 6 days away from this PLE they have coming up. I can't say that what they did on this show did anything to really make me more excited. Whereas, for example, the John Cena-Logan Paul segment on SmackDown Friday night, that was the highlight of the night. That actually did make me more interested in seeing John Cena against Logan Paul. See, that's an example of them doing something with an eye towards the PLE that actually worked. You know, worked for me. There was nothing like that on the show tonight. Now, there is some news. I mentioned on the stream last week that some people had, and I think PW Insider talked about this as well, somebody had picked up on the fact that people who had tickets to some of the episodes of Raw coming up in September were alerted that the start times, or like the arrival times on their tickets, were bumped up by an hour. And I said it could be a sign of something. It could be a sign that Raw maybe is going to go a little bit earlier in September. It could be a sign of nothing at all. Well, now we have a little more news. It looks like there is smoke to the fire. Per PW Insider, it appears that there are at least three episodes of Raw coming up in the month of September that are listed for a 6:30 p.m. local start time. In checking the Netflix listings for those episodes, now list Raw as starting at 7 p.m. Eastern. So that is the September 15th Raw in Springfield, Massachusetts, the September 22nd Raw in Evansville, Indiana, and the September 29th Raw in Raleigh, North Carolina. So it appears that Raw is going to be going on the air an hour earlier each of those weeks, and it just so happens to coincide with the beginning of the NFL season. So I don't know if you could draw a straight line from one to the other. It might have something to do with it. I don't know if that's going to bleed over into October, but at least for those episodes in the month of September, we're going to get Raw an hour earlier. It's fine with me. I get to go live an hour earlier on my end, so I'm okay with it. This is your Raw on Netflix review. It is Monday night, August 25th. I guess this is the final Raw for the month of August 2025. I am the Solid Monster. Thank you for joining me, hanging out with me here. I know it's a different time, not everybody's here, but thank you for being with me. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Super chats are open. And I want to say thank you to everybody who joined me for the Forbidden Door review last night, which was very eventful. Given everything that was going on here, and me going back and forth with my little test issue, it was a very interesting review, to be sure. But if you missed it, you can go back and check out all the hijinks, and the audio is up as well for those of you who would prefer the audio version. Now, let's get into the Raw show here. Let's tackle this. See, we even have Uncle Saudi is joining us for the review. Roman Reigns. He was up first. He came out to the ring by himself. The crowd, of course, they're in England. They have to sing. So they sang his name European style. Reigns looked into the camera and said they loved me. He told the crowd to acknowledge him. That led to a round of OTC chants. He said it felt like old times. He said that he has big plans, not only for tonight, but which he really didn't, but for the rest of the year and next year as well. He said that he had to be honest with himself. He said the fans acknowledged him, but there was something that he needed to acknowledge in order to move forward. He said it's not old times anymore. He said that he's not the same guy he used to be. And the fans started chanting, yes, you are. And then he said, well, maybe I can be. But he said Cody Rhodes predicted it about a year and a half ago. And when he mentioned Cody Rhodes, there were noticeable boos from not the entire crowd, but they were noticeable enough. The boo birds were out for Cody. And Roman looked surprised. And he said, interesting. Then he mentioned the Vision and Seth Rollins. That also got booed. He said they followed through with what Cody said by taking everything from him. So there was a censored fuck you Rollins chant that broke out. Roman smiled and said that he's felt that way for a long time. So Roman said he no longer has the bloodline. After the crowd chanted yeet, he said, look, I'm proud of Jay. Proud of him. He's proud of his cousin. People complaining about Jay being in the world title match at Clash in Paris instead of him, he pointed out that Jay was the one who got the winning fall in their tag team match at SummerSlam. That, and he said he has his rematch clause. So he deserves to be in this match for the World Heavyweight Championship. So they are still doing this rematch clause bullshit. I thought they had done away with it. You know, like some people might get a rematch every now and then, but it wasn't like an official thing. But he talked about it here like it's an official thing. I thought we were done with this. I thought we were done with the automatic rematch stuff. So the Vision took his bloodline, they took his wise man, and they took his titles. They ran out of things to take, So they had to find something else. And that was, he was about to bring up Bronson Reed. As champion, any of these other books is an underrated era and Seth Rollins coming out to the ring. So that was certainly a choice. It will be a far worse choice if after he lost tonight.
Hey, what happened?
As I think he will, Knight ends up being the one to eat the pin on Sunday in the four-way. That would be far worse. After the match was over, at least we got an actual fucking winner in this match and not another DQ finish. When the match was over, Rollins and Breakker, they attack Knight. We hear Jey Uso's music. He comes out to make the save. Despite what Roman Reigns just got done telling this fucking guy in the segment before this, you don't have to help anybody else, let alone one of your opponents on Sunday. First man that comes out, Jey Uso. So he comes out, he hits Rollins with a super kick. He turns his attention to Breakker. Rollins grabs him, hits one of those awful pedigrees where he hooks the arms, and then as soon as he jumps up, he immediately lets go. And the guy just falls to the mat. I hate when people do the pedigree like that. Like, if you don't want to, if you don't trust yourself enough, like, to do the move in a way that at least looks good, I get it, but then don't do it. But, I mean, most people have been doing a shitty pedigree now for 25 years, so, I mean, it's not really just a Seth Rollins problem. Even Triple H, at some point, he just was like, he would give up on it, like, halfway into the move. You know who would take the worst pedigrees, even 20 years ago? Kane. And, I mean, he's a bigger guy, I guess I can kind of understand it, but I mean, at least he had a mask on. But, like, Kane always took a shitty, because he would always put a knee down. And I'm like, man, this looks like shit. But it was always Kane. Kane was, like, the worst at taking those pedigrees. So this is all going on here. CM Punk finally entered. People were chanting for Punk. They wanted to see Punk. They hit Cult of Personality. CM Punk comes out. After they cut his song, when he got to the ring, the fans continued to sing. And they were singing this song loud and proud. Like, this rivaled the fans in London at Forbidden Door last night singing Adam Copeland's song. Because when they sang his song, they were loud. They were super into it. This crowd was loud and super into singing Punk's song here. Punk attacked Rollins. Braun, though, pulled Rollins out of the ring to safety. The crowd started chanting, "Seth's a pussy," which got censored. Punk helped Jey to his feet. Knight confronted Punk. Jey tried to settle them both down. Knight brushed him off. Punk and Knight, they started trading fists until Punk shoved Knight into Jey. Punk grabbed Knight for a GTS. Knight slipped out. Stumbled towards Jey, who caught him with a super kick. Jey stood next to Punk and then laid out Punk with a super kick. And Rollins was very amused. I mean, he's watching this, right? These were all of his opponents on Sunday. He was very amused by all of this. Jey then yeeted with the crowd as the show came to an end. So Jey Uso stands tall, which is good for him because he will not be at the end of that main event on Sunday. But neither will any of these other bozos who continue to fight each other instead of focusing on the actual goal here, which would be taking out Seth Rollins and this faction of his. He's the World Heavyweight Champion. He's their target on Sunday. And instead, they were just at each other's throats. And we have all of this drama between these challengers every single week, which I guess is good. When you have a television show, you want to have drama. But boy, it does make them look kind of dumb, doesn't it? Jey Uso should have taken his cousin's advice and just stayed in the back. I love how he heard everything Roman had to say, and he was the first guy to come out there to try to make the save. And then so he ends up being involved and embroiled in all this bullshit here at the end of the show. They certainly did not do anything here on this go-home edition of Raw that would make you think that any of these challengers, any of these three men, are leaving Paris as the World Heavyweight Champion. So, to that end, I don't really know that I can call this a successful segment. They certainly tried to build up some drama between those three. But does anybody honestly think Seth Rollins, who just cashed in this month to win the World Heavyweight Championship, is going to lose to Jey Uso? Is going to lose to LA Knight? CM Punk would be the likeliest, and CM Punk will probably eventually win back the World Heavyweight Championship. I don't think he has to, but if he does, it ain't going to be in Paris. It would be at WrestleMania, but it will not be in Paris. And that concluded a very run-of-the-mill episode of Raw. It set things up for Sunday. I just don't think they did a very good job of getting me, anyway, excited to actually see any of those matches that they were hyping up tonight. And I'm bummed that they took one of the matches I was looking forward to off the card. I mean, the last couple of PLEs, the Women's World Championship match was honestly, if not the best thing on the show, it was one of the highlights of the show. It was certainly the best thing on the show at Evolution. That match with Rhea and Io was fucking great. One of the best matches I've seen all year. So yes, I was looking forward to seeing Stephanie, who has been just completely forgotten about on most weeks on this show. She doesn't wrestle. We barely see her. Tonight was another example. We saw her for all of 20 seconds on screen. She needed this match because she hasn't done anything this month. Now she's got to wait until September. Now we're going to go into the next month before we even see her back in the ring wrestling for this championship. So that was a big bummer, finding out that match isn't even on the card. This is the card. This is the official card right now as things stand for Clash in Paris, coming up on Sunday. Sheamus and Rusev, who they had dueling video packages for tonight, one for each. Otherwise, they were not on the show, but they will be in a good old-fashioned Donnybrook match, which is basically just no DQ, no count-out. I would have made it false count anywhere. They wanted to go with the Donnybrook stipulation, so we'll get barrels. We'll get barrels and all kinds of kendo sticks. Gotta have the kendo sticks. At least they're having a PLE match. It's great. It's great. I talked last week. The last time we saw Sheamus in a singles match on a PLE was Clash at the Castle in 2022. 3 years ago against Gunther. Good for him. He's got himself a PLE match. Roman Reigns is going to try to get his shoes back from Bronson Reed. Becky Lynch defends the Intercontinental title against Nikki Bella. John Cena goes one-on-one with Logan Paul. And Seth Rollins will defend the World Heavyweight Championship. Uh-oh. Drop cup spot up. Defend against Sidrow. Fuck that tree. Chop that shit down, Sidrow. Sidrow. The learning tree. Thank you, Sidrow. A rare appearance by Sidrow here. We see more of Stephanie on Raw than we see of Sidrow here on the stream. But Steph would look at this point. Wait, there it is.
Alright, hold on.
This is live on Friday at 7 p.m. GMT.
Let's do what these cells say they were installing these apps. Let's go into their review. They're also in the chat. Let's see what they have to say about Raw.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Monday afternoon Raw podcast. It is August 25th. It's your girl, Denise Salcedo, back from vacation, and I am reunited once again with Santi Zap, the Master Door Giveaway. Dude, that's your new name, Santi.
I'm giving away bait, actually, now. What would that make me?
Like fish bait?
Yeah. So if I'm the master of that, what is that?
I don't know. Bait master? Doctor? I don't know.
Denise, never mind. Let's just move on.
I'm sorry. Wait, hold on, though, because if you say bait master, that almost sounds like jail bait when you're trying to pick up, like, an underage girl. So technically,
Oh, God, wait. You are taking this where it's not supposed to go.
What?
Why would you say master in the first word the first time and then you put it in the second? Say the first. Put master first.
Wait, so then if I say master bait, then you're master baiter.
There, that was the joke. That was the joke, Denise. That was the fucking joke.
I thought you were literally trying to be like the master of bait.
Let's just start this. Oh my God, I think I can give myself
Instead, I went a
aneurysm.
whole different direction. I went with jail bait.
Oh my God, I think I'm
Wait, but
ready.
like, you really wanted
That's
I don't know. I don't think like being a master masturbator is the dream.
It doesn't get much better than that.
I think it's good. I think
That's
it's good,
the
Santi.
American dream right there. That's the American dream, baby.
For a lot of people, it might not be though, Santi. You know, it takes two to tango. You don't always want to be just a master masturbator.
I don't know that it takes two to tango. I've proven that to myself plenty of times.
I can't even bounce back anymore. What happened on Monday Night Raw? Someone tell me what happened on Monday Night Raw. Santi, it's good to be back after last week's show and this week's show. I don't even. Santi, I'm broken. I can't even come back from that. I'm still dying over masturbator. All right, that's it. Focus on Monday Night Raw. Santi, what did you think of this week's show?
I'm still mad that AJ and Dom is not at Clash in Paris, so they decided to do it on Monday Night Raw. I know it's still in Paris. It just won't be the same. I'm upset about that personally. I thought that this was a fine episode of Monday Night Raw. We had some good in-ring action. I liked the ending there with all the baby faces kind of at each other's throats. I love the opening segment. It just feels special when Roman is there. You know, and it's nice to finally get Roman coming out to do a proper entrance as opposed to him just running in to save somebody and fight with the Vision. It was nice to have a full-fledged beginning to end Roman Reigns segment to start the show as well.
Yeah, they really did sort of stretch it out a whole lot, though. I felt like, we could have probably got it right into the action. I think it took like 23 minutes until we finally got into this brawl between Bronson Reed and Roman Reigns. But before we get into all of that, I'm sorry. I got to start with the big topic, in my opinion, of the night, which is that poor Stephanie McCare is not getting her match at Clash in Paris. WTF, Santi, I know that Naomi's gone and the title is vacant now, but tell me if I'm crazy. Did you automatically assume that we would get Stephanie versus Io Sky for the championship at Clash in Paris? Because I thought that that was the obvious direction that they were going to go into, considering the match that we were supposed to see between Naomi and Io, and then the champion versus Stephanie at Clash in Paris.
Yeah, I thought that was a very easy, logical place for them to go. I do think that the ESPN deal changed things, and they want to make WrestlePalooza a giant event to force people to go from Peacock over to ESPN in the United States, which is why I think Clash in Paris is going to end with a big moment with Brock Lesnar to set up Brock Lesnar versus Cena to get people excited for WrestlePalooza. Hey, this is the end of Peacock. Go to ESPN. And because I think they're putting so much effort into WrestlePalooza, I think that they want big championship matches there as well, which is I think they're saving this women's match for WrestlePalooza so that they can have a bigger show on ESPN.
But damn, though, it's like if you win, here's my gripe, and this is where I'm at right now, and I hope that they solve this, okay? So let's say you're right, which I hope you are, because that's the next logical step, is to put that on this big show that is the debut, the premiere for WWE over on the ESPN platform. I hope you're right, but from now until we get to the September 20th show, I want there to be more Stephanie on the show, because if she is going to win the championship, I feel like it's been a long time since we've gotten to really see her consistently in action, where they've sort of more so kept her in these behind the scenes, the backstage segments, instead of actually having her out there. Because when she wasn't even on Raw, I feel she was having more matches on Raw when she was still an
My bad, hold on. What the? Damn it. My bad. Damn it. Man, I was so close.
Hey guys, it's Cooper DeJean and this is Mav. We're partnering with Phil's Pet Nutrition to show you some of our favorite parts of our day together.
Still got this uploaded.
When she was still an NXT wrestler.
That's so true. I don't know what's going on there. Like, you have such a valuable, easy to plug in asset that is like a guaranteed banger of a match in Stephanie Baquet, and not using her, I'm assuming they're not going to during this European tour. To me, also seems kind of bizarre. I feel like if I'm Stephanie, I'm pretty bummed out that I'm sure I'll get on WrestlePalooza, but I'm specifically bummed out that I won't get to perform in front of that French crowd, because I really think that could have been a star-making match for Stephanie Baquet with whoever it is that she would be going up against, because that crowd could have made something special out of Stephanie for sure. I don't get the lack of use of Stephanie. To me, it's just it would feel like such a simple, logical thing to do. Hey, you've got a 5-star bout machine. Throw her out there, have a great match with literally a stick if you wanted to. I don't get it. I'm bummed out. I love Stephanie Baquet. Not having Stephanie Baquet in my life is making it worse.
Exactly. So I do hope from now until then that we do get to see more of her, so that when the moment comes, if she's actually the one that's gonna win the title, that people are saying, "Damn, man, like, she's been hustling." I see it. I get it, because in situations like this, sometimes it's so easy to lose that buzz, right? It can happen. We've seen it happen to so many people, and I'm sorry, but I don't want to see that happen with Stephanie. So I want them to kind of remind everybody, hey, this is why she is so popular, because I feel that Stephanie connects more with people when she's out there in the ring showing them why they should be rooting for her. But let's go ahead and get into some of these super chats of what the people are saying. I want to start off by thanking Patrick Wilborn for sending this in. Very generous of you. We got Cool Fool 1980 here, who says the World Tag Team titles are as valuable as a bag of chips. They need to be used.
That's wrong. That is a lie. First of all, a bag of chips is delicious and can be
that's
eaten.
true.
I can't do shit with those tag titles.
All right, so they're more like the vegetable you hate the most. Whatever your least favorite vegetable is, that is the tag team division at the moment. I hate to say it. Thank you, Cool Fool. We got Bob Ross here, who says, I'm disappointed that Stephanie won't have a title match in Paris, but it's okay decision to crown a new champion on the first PLE on ESPN. I don't love the decision, but I kind of understand it. And here's the thing that I'm curious about. I'm wondering if they're going to do, how they're going to decipher, okay, so we know Stephanie's in the match, but how are they going to decipher who her opponent is? Are they going to go with the person that we thought, which was Io, or are they going to do a situation where it becomes a triple threat, a fatal four-way? Maybe there's a little bit of a tournament or a battle royal or something to determine who really is going to be in there. Because right now, you have to have Io. She is owed a match, and of course, Stephanie is too, as the #1 contender.
Yeah, I think you could go a bunch of different ways. I wouldn't be surprised if the way that Adam Pearce made it sound is that it's going to be a one-on-one match. He said, I need a week to get your opponent. So I'm interpreting that as setting up a one-on-one environment match as opposed to battle royal, tournament, gauntlet, whatever it might be.
All right, well, hashtag you better be Io. That's where I'm at. Thank you, Bob. We got Randy Hayward here, who says, how come Fatal Influence got booted? No DQ match. I think they got, I'm sorry, I'm trying to remember everything that happened there, but yeah, they did get kicked out when they were in the, getting involved in that match, but I think it's because they were causing the distractions and all of that. Right? I'm not wrong, am I? No, that was pretty much it.
I think it's because of that.
All right, thank you, Ramsey. We got Patrick Wilborn here, who says, real quick, great Raw, but I want to hear both of you talk about the Raja and Knox Pro stuff. Yeah, man, Santi, I know that you saw this too, because it's literally everywhere and completely went viral. And it was this weekend where we saw some really just nasty actions on the part of Rampage Jackson's son, Raja Jackson, where he apparently got mad at indie pro wrestler Psycho Stu. He got mad at Psycho Stu, and what happened? Because believe it or out there. You can see this, how it unfolded from top
Yeah,
to bottom.
there's
but
no like, oh, it depends on how you interpret it. No, the whole thing is there.
It really is. You know, usually in situations like this, you have one little clip and everybody has different opinions, right? No, this one is sort of unanimous. You saw that apparently they had a little bit of a backstage confrontation that I guess what's his face Raja got really upset by, and I guess people online were sort of making fun of him, and I guess he took that to heart. Whatever. It's no excuse for what he did, which was go out there and attack Psycho Stu. And once the guy was knocked out already, he still got like an additional 20 plus blows to the head. And it took the wrestlers, it took the referee, it took people there a really long time to react, which was just horrifying. And then even afterwards, Santi, not only did we get Raja's reaction, we also saw Rampage's reaction. It was a mess. As of right now, of course, the LAPD is doing their investigation. All we know is that he is stable and alive. We haven't gotten any additional information, and that came from Rampage, so take it or leave it how you please. But then also today we learned that Nox Pro, which is Rikishi's school, lost their WWE ID affiliation. So, Santi, thoughts?
Brutal. Like, there's no defending this at all whatsoever. Like you said, this isn't a situation where, like, oh, we only have one half of the story. No, we have the full story, and it's literally from the point of view of the dude that committed what is a very clear and obvious crime. I hope sincerely that the hammer gets brought down on him. That was insane. Like, one of the most awful things that I've ever seen in the professional wrestling industry. One of the things that I said in my live stream, because a couple of idiots, I would say, are saying, hey, he was just retaliating for what happened earlier on in the night. Listen, the whole can thing, the gimmick can, where Psycho Stu's like, dude, aren't you going to sell it? Clearly, that was supposed to be a spot that Raja wasn't in on, clearly. Had the attack happened there, I might say, oh, this is a guy that was instigated. He thought he was under attack. He defended himself. Okay, but this was 40 minutes after. This was a premeditated attack that he told his live stream he was going to do. I don't blame WWE for pulling their WWE ID affiliation with Nox Pro either, because to a degree I have to wonder who the hell at Nox Pro thought it was a good idea to bring in Raja Jackson to have a spot in that show. But at the end of the day, like, the most important thing is Psycho Stu. Psycho Stu, man, like, I hope he's gonna be okay. I see an attack like that, and I immediately think that man is never going to be the same. I don't know how you can be. Like you said, 20 plus shots unprotected to the head to an unconscious man. And I see people also trying to throw blame at certain other people aside from Raja, like saying, why wouldn't the ref pull him off? Guys, the referee's an actor. That's not a real MMA referee that knows how to handle those situations, how to stop a violent outburst like that. I don't know anything about the referee, but I wouldn't be surprised if they're a local theater actor, night cosplaying as a professional wrestling referee. This is nobody's fault aside from Raja Jackson, who committed what is clear as day assault.
Yeah, and on top of that, you mentioned, you know, the long gap between when the incident happened with the can and then the actual assault. But between that, Santi, they squashed, supposedly, from the looks of it, the beef was supposed to be squashed. They shook hands. That should have been the end of it. You don't do that. You don't squash an argument with somebody. You shake hands and then afterwards still attack them. You don't do that. You be a man and you confront that person and then there and you say something. You don't shake their hands and act like everything is okay afterwards. lighter note, on Monday Night Raw, we got Sandy Man here who says, hot take, NXT Heatwave was better than Raw. I don't think it's that big of a hot take, bro. I'm with you on that one. We got Mitaru here who says, okay, this post show is clickbait, JK. This is like the John Cena, that is clickbait.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mitaru. We got Nothing Happened 96. It says, hey, Lisa, first time viewer, you going to join us, watch Santi eat his monitor? He owes us from Heatwave. What caused you to have to end up eating your monitor? Was it Dark State winning the tag titles?
No, at the start of the match, I said I would eat my monitor if Ash by Elegance somehow won the TNA Knockouts title. She did.
Wait, did you not see it coming, Santi?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Okay, see, I had a feeling it was going to happen. I was thinking, okay, Masha or Ash is taking back that title. Masha is my pick, but based off of what I've been seeing on Impact,
Yeah.
it was clear that they were most likely going to give Ash by Elegance her big moment.
See,
And she
my
got a
logic.
shout out today.
Yeah, my logic was that they were gonna have the big TNA wins it all back at Bound for Glory. So I thought that both Trick Williams and JC Jane were gonna hold it to Bound for Glory and both lose on that show.
Here's the lesson, Santi, that you have to learn, is that unfortunately, right now, TNA is not doing what you think it would be the common sense thing to do. They're not doing what you think would be logical. It's been kind of all over the place. I've had a lot of criticisms about how they have handled that Knockouts Championship picture on Impact. I have not been loving it. I feel like in the last couple of weeks, it's kind of been it's been a little rough. It's been a little rough in my opinion, just seeing what they've been doing with that. So I don't know. It is what it is. Like all the champions we thought were gonna win when we thought they were gonna win. Joe Hendry when we thought he was gonna win and then he did it. Mike Santana when we thought he was gonna win and then he did it. So they're doing whatever you want to happen. They're gonna do the opposite.
That's true. They've been doing this for a long time. Like, it took them forever to be like, oh yeah, maybe we should put the title on the most popular act that we've had here in the past 10 years, Joe Hendry.
Literally.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nothing Happens. We got Randy Hayward here who says, Mr. Beast said he'd pay for Stu's medical bills. I did see that, and that's incredible because, obviously Mr. Beast has a shit ton of money, so the fact that he would do something like that is really nice. Thank you, Randy. We got Patrick Wilborn here who says, who will beat Oba? I'm seriously asking because Santi said Optimus Prime. Was that really your answer?
At this point, it might as well. I have a bit. Listen, Denise, I have a series on my channel. Who will dethrone every champion? I do it. It's a video that I do at the start of every month after the reset of all the PLEs. And for Oba Femi, I have this bit where I just predict fictional characters. I've done everything from Optimus Prime to like Charizard, the Pokemon, to John Wick. I've predicted everybody, and it seems like nobody is going to be able to dethrone Oba Femi.
Okay, I'm trying to think who should be like a really good answer for that. Oh, what about the lobster from SpongeBob SquarePants? What's his name?
Larry the Lobster? That
Larry the
steroid-filled
Lobster.
freak? Nah,
Yes,
man.
Larry the Lobster. Bro, he's got muscles.
Because Oba doesn't.
But I'm saying, like, muscles versus muscles. Larry the Lobster.
Nah, man. Larry the Lobster would get fucking foiled and eaten by Oba Femi on live TV.
What about Pearl?
I love nature, just not in my house.
Alright. Let's go into post wrestling.
Fandango deal all over again for me. Once the North Americans have appropriated it, I really do.
They ruin it.
We will rock you. Rhea Ripley. You guys are fucking crazy, man. I swear to fucking Christ. The UK, man, I swear to God. This is why we need a WrestleMania in the UK, bro. Seriously. And here we are thinking that the Saudis are getting a UK, the Saudis are getting a WrestleMania first besides the UK. Can't happen. The UK absolutely deserves a WrestleMania at Wembley before the Saudis do. Gotta love it. Perez held a their own in this match, man. WWE is incredibly high on Roxanne Perez. You know that they're high on Rhea Ripley, but they are high on Roxanne Perez. And I say this every single week since, she's starting to get more and more TV time. How brilliant of a decision was it to put Roxanne Perez in the Judgment Day?
It was a great decision.
It's going to be great when Liv Morgan comes back, man. Things are really going to heat up. But Roxanne Perez has fucking killed it in the Judgment Day. Killed it. She's great. So we got an early distraction by Rodriguez, which allowed Roxanne to take over with a suicide dive. We go into a commercial break with Rhea Ripley's leg being worked on. And Roxanne spiked her with a DDT. Another distraction by Rodriguez allowed Perez to bring Ripley off the top rope with a Hurricanrana. Perez followed with a double knee drop. She goes for a cover. She gets a 2 count. Ripley followed with a razor's edge. Running kick for a 2. Ripley knocked Rodriguez down, blocked the pop rocks by Roxy. It's a riptide for the 1, 2, 3. So we got about 6.5 minutes of TV time here. Rest of it was in a commercial break. After the match, Rodriguez attacked Rhea Ripley. Ripley fought her off, but an assist by Perez allowed both her and Rodriguez to take Rhea Ripley out. Io ran out to make the save and sent Rodriguez out of the ring with a missile dropkick. Ripley hugged Sky as they smiled with Roxy and Rodriguez retreating. Maybe that's the match for Paris. Maybe we get Rhea Ripley and Io versus Roxy and Raquel. Could be a great undercard match. I think that would go off well in Paris. I just find it to be rather weird that Rhea Ripley's not being booked for Paris. Like, why would you leave her? She's the most over individual on the entire roster. Like, why would you leave her off? Maybe that's what we're going for here. I think a 6th match needs to be added. I do. Tired of these 5-match PLEs, man. There's just not enough there. You guys ever go to a restaurant and they give you fucking a portion and you could absolutely eat like another half of that fucking same portion? It happens to me when I go to Chipotle. People are weird when I say this. Every time I go to Chipotle, man, or I get a burrito bowl or a burrito from Chipotle, I still feel hungry afterwards. As if they didn't put enough in the burrito. Or a rice bowl from Chipotle. I eat it, I'm still fucking hungry. I'm like, I can eat another third of this same bowl. They're not giving you enough to whet your appetite. You're still hungry afterwards. Like, I get that's what his motto was with Black and Gold. But I just feel like we need an extra 6th match on this PLE or on any PLE. 5 matches is way too little. One show is doing fucking 9, 10, 11 matches, and the other one's doing 5 matches. One does too much, the other does too little. There's no middle ground with these fucking companies. I need a middle ground, bro. Give me 6. WrestlePalooza may end up being 7 just for the simple fact that they're on ESPN and they're going head-to-head with AEW. They'll probably give you 7, 8 fucking matches. They're gonna treat this thing bigger than fucking SummerSlam. 7 is the sweet spot, yes. 7 is absolutely the sweet spot. Seth Rollins, he's backstage, he's psyching up the vision for Braun Breaker versus LA Knight. Later on in the main event, Io, we go to Io Sky, she checked up on Rhea Ripley backstage. As soon as Rhea Ripley left, an angry Asuka confronted Io as Kairi Sane held her back. Asuka told Io to stop talking to Rhea Ripley. Asuka then left. Sky asked Sane to trust her. Kairi looked sad, told Io she was sorry, and she went to go be with Asuka. I don't know who is in charge of this storyline, man, but this is a good, simple type of storytelling, Gus. Like I said last week, all of these women have something to do with each other. Io, Asuka, and Kairi, they were all in the same stable together, so there's history there. Io and Rhea have a mutual respect for each other, based and born off of the fact that Rhea can't beat Io, and they're both going after the same thing. They're both helping each other to get back to the same place together because they both want that match together. They both want the World Championship, and they would love it to be against each other. But they're also very good friends. There's a mutual respect there. Asuka is just jealous. This is the reason why this is working so well is because this is something that everybody has been involved in at one point in their life. Feeling of jealousy. This is why it connects. WWE would be better off if they actually used more real-life human emotion for their storytelling. That's what people care about. That's what people want to see. This is not the biggest storyline on the show, not even close. But the simple fact of the matter is, outside of everything that we got going on, the one thing that feels most real and most genuine is this. Because it's a real-life human emotion. And I appreciate that. I don't know when this match is happening. Like I said, I think that they'll probably save it for WrestlePalooza. Though I said countless times in this podcast already, I just find it to be a head-scratcher that Rhea Ripley is not booked for Clash in Paris. Maybe she will. We got 6 days. AJ Styles, he went one-on-one with Finn Balor. Imagine AJ Styles and Finn Balor going one-on-one and they only got 8 minutes. 4.5 of which was TV time. The other was commercial. Apparently this was their 5th ever singles match. They wrestled back and forth for a few minutes. Balor dropkicked Styles off the apron. Styles is in control before we go to a commercial break. Comes back from the break. Styles blocked the crossbody, hits a backbreaker, fireman's carry, neck breaker, cover, 2 count. Balor comes back with a sling blade, dropkick into the corner. Styles avoided the coup de grace. Styles eventually fights off Balor with a series of counters, and he got a Styles clash on Balor for a very clean 1, 2, and 3. AJ Styles beats Finn Balor in about 8 minutes, 4.5 of which was TV time. I mean, I don't really understand why. This was very basic. I mean, the match happened, we got a clean winner, and then on to the next segment. Nothing really happened here. I guess the whole thing is Balor did not take care of AJ Styles the way Dominic had wanted him to. Now we gotta wait till next week to see Dominic's reaction to Balor losing to Styles after Dominic wanted Balor to take care of the guy that's coming after his IC title. Jey Uso. Backstage with Roman Reigns. Uso, he was all angry. He's all hyped up. Roman Reigns is there. Reigns warned him, listen, never trust CM Punk. Reigns also wondered why Jey was so uptight. He told him, stop helping people. You've helped enough people. He's helped Reigns, he's helped their family, he's helped the locker room, and he's helped the company. It's time for Jey to do something for himself. It wasn't about being one of the boys or making friends. It was about cashing in on the moments and locking in your legacy. Reigns said that was his perspective from the way he saw it. It was up to Jey to be Jey. Yeet. See, when Roman Reigns is on TV, man, and he's given segments like this, it just makes just a small portion of the show matter that much more. This was a good segment. Bayley. There was another Bayley video here. She's definitely hearing her inner voice. We're getting Bayley torn between role model Bayley and heel Bayley. Ding dong, hello, Bayley. We hear the audience. The audience can hear everything that's going on in this vignette. They're reacting to it. Tonight's segment started with a younger version of Bayley talking to her before her evil version interrupted the good version. The two voices argued until the real Bayley told them to stop arguing. Oh, she's definitely going Two-Face here.
told what you can't do, who will you choose to
Hold on.
be?
Before I end the video, I just want to show the other podcaster from Pro Wrestling.
What could be?
Hold on.
Not all of us can be experts at mounting TVs. That's why I turned to TaskRabbit for help. TaskRabbit makes it super convenient to find
Fandango deal. And that just kind of feels like he's just existing, on this division. I really don't know what the appeal or the point of all of this is, other than perhaps the idea of reuniting Penta with Phoenix and perhaps Andrade, so that you can get a reunited Lucha Brothers plus Andrade in a bit of a 3-on-3 scenario against the New Day. I just don't know.
The Lucha Brothers and their best friend.
Yeah, they're Grayson Waller, Andrade.
Yeah. Rhea Ripley is warming up, and Io Sky walks in and says to Rhea, "Thank you for having my back."
You know what? Mike will just end the video.
He looked up and smiled when Pierce made the announcement. Balor doesn't give a shit about Dominic Mysterio. Dominic Mysterio should absolutely lose the Intercontinental title. AJ Styles should be the new Intercontinental Champion. And I would have Dominic win the AAA Mega Championship from Vikingo on September 12th at Worlds Collide. Give up one, win the other. The IC title is doing absolutely fuck all on Dominic Mysterio. Get it on AJ and give him what is widely known as the Workhorse Championship. I like it. They ran down the Clash of Paris card. Bronson Reed versus Roman Reigns. I'm assuming for the Jordans. For the Shulafala. Sheamus versus Rusev in a Vince McMahon good old-fashioned Donnybrook match. I'm sure we'll see the wooden bar and the whiskey barrels outside. John Cena versus Logan Paul. Great fucking segment on Friday Night SmackDown. They fucking killed it, man. Such a great segment with those two. Literally the only reason why to watch Friday Night SmackDown. Literally the only reason to watch SmackDown was that segment. Becky Lynch versus Nikki Bella for the Intercontinental Championship, and Seth Rollins defends the World Heavyweight title against CM Punk, Jey Uso, and LA Knight in the main event. We need one more match. One more match. Braun Breaker started walking through the back on his way out to the ring for his match with LA Knight. Roman Reigns.
I'm gonna end the video. Till next time, I'll see y'all later.